Morning, Martin. I'm fine, Baruch Hashem. How are you today?
I'm fine too. Blessed be the name.
Blessed be the name of Hashem. You asked for a taste of Torah. So I'm going to speak about Torah and not tefillah. And the Torah message for today is about action rather than prayer. The third reading of today's Torah portion, it's Parshat B'Shalach, and the central narrative of this week's Torah portion is the splitting of the Reed Sea, the miraculous deliverance of the Jewish people. But before the sea split, they were facing a raging ocean before them and a menacing army behind them. And Hashem's clouds of glory enveloped the Jewish people, but it isn't looking good. And the people have panicked. They're praying, but they're praying only out of rote or desperation, not because they're filled with a sense of faith or fortitude. And Moshe Rabbeinu himself begins to pray. We know this because the third reading of Parshat B'Shalach opens with the words, Vayomer Hashem el Moshe. God speaks to Moshe and he says, Ma titzak elai. Why are you crying out to me? Rashi, quoting our sages, telling us that this means lamadnu, shehayomesha emid umispalel. This teaches us that Moshe Rabbeinu at the time began to pray at length. Everybody else was praying. Of course, Moshe Rabbeinu, the Rebbe, is going to pray too. Hashem says to Moshe Rabbeinu, don't pray now. Now is not a time for prayer. Now is not a time for a prolonged, prayerful petition. Anyway, he says, the outcome is not dependent on you. As he says, this one's on me. What should Moshe Rabbeinu do? Daber el bnei Yisrael. Speak to the people, uplift the people, inspire the people, and enable them to go forward. And in the combined merit of their forefathers and foremothers and the faith that they themselves have showed, the Sea of Reeds is going to split. So we have this incredible idea where God himself is telling Moshe Rabbeinu not to pray. I once heard it said, I heard it said in the name of the Balaturim, although I haven't been able to find it there, that the word Ma represents the longest and shortest prayers of Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu prayed for 40 days, and Mem, is the gematria, the numeric equivalent of 40, and the word Ma is written with a Hey, and the shortest prayer Moshe Rabbeinu ever made was on behalf of the welfare of his sister Miriam. He said, when Miriam was stricken with tsaras, Kelna Refonola, only 5 words. And Hashem is telling Moshe Rabbeinu, don't pray. Not long prayers, not even short prayers. Now is not a time to pray. Now is a time to speak to the Jewish people. Now is a time to inspire, to uplift, and to enable to effectively move forward. The Rebbe once asked a very interesting question, and I think that this provides a powerful lesson for you and I and our listeners and those who are joining us online. The Rebbe said, wouldn't it be enough for God simply to say to Moshe Rabbeinu, Daber el bnei Yisrael, here's what you should do? Why does God have to first say to Moses, Ma titzak elai? Why does he have to add those 3 words? Why are you crying out to me? Why are you praying to me? Just give him instructions. Tell him what he has to do. Moshe Rabbeinu, speak to the Jewish people. They're looking to you for leadership, for guidance, for clarity, for courage, for fortitude. Provide it for them. Speak to them. That's what you do. You're Moshe Rabbeinu. You are the teacher. You are the person who is tasked with galvanizing the nation and giving them the strength and courage to do what Hashem expects of them. Why emphasize the negative? Ma titzak, you shouldn't daven or shouldn't pray. And the Rebbe said that Hashem is teaching us a very important lesson. Sometimes we act, but along with our actions, we are praying. And then there are times when we must devote ourselves entirely, solely, to be focused on the actions that must be taken. You know, people have a difficult time focusing on multiple tasks. Certainly men have a difficult time with that. And because of this, Hashem is telling Moshe Rabbeinu that when you're focused on speaking to the people, then you have to be entirely focused on that activity. If that's what you have to do, you have to be there, heart, mind, and soul. Martin, oftentimes we are called upon to provide guidance or clarity for others. Sometimes it's words of encouragement, sometimes words of comfort, and sometimes words of inspiration. And sometimes people just need to be given instructions. When you are tasked with a mission of helping others, focus on the mission 100%. And if you focus on the mission and devote yourself to helping others, that can become more meaningful than the profoundest, most passionate prayer. So there's a time to act and a time to think and focus on the needs of your fellow. Moshe Rabbeinu had a time like this. He did what Hashem expected of him. And because he focused entirely, he was able to inspire and uplift the nation in his day. Our sages tell us there's a little Moshe Rabbeinu within each and every one of us. We may not be responsible for an entire nation, but sometimes saving one life is like saving the whole world. And there will be times when we are tasked with making a difference for others. Devote yourself entirely. Be there, heart, mind, and soul. And Hashem will grant us success in the actions that we take and in the words that we use. Martin, I hope and I pray that you and I will choose to be a little bit better today. That you and I will choose not only to daven with greater focus, not only to study Torah with the full understanding that we can muster, but that we will devote ourselves to making a difference in somebody else's life today, 100%. And that Hashem will give us the privilege of success. And that all of our little actions, all of these small lights that we kindle, will together form the grand flame that will illuminate the whole world by catalyzing the coming of Mashiach in our time. May that be bimheira ubiyamenu, speedily, and in our days. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, Rabbi Kaplan.
Thank you, and thank you all for joining. Have a beautiful day.